Hi, John here, and I promise I'll be quick, but I have one quick note I want to share. The video you're about to watch was originally produced and uploaded as a 5-part series of individual shorter videos, basically because I felt that the overall video together was a bit longer than I anticipated, and I felt would be inconveniently too long for a lot of YouTube viewers to want to sit through at one time. So if you prefer to watch this video in its original segmented form, you can start with segment 1 by clicking right here, or just click the corresponding link in the video description. Otherwise, if you prefer to watch all 5 segments together in a single video, I've combined them right here for you, minus all the extra lead-ins that precede each of the segments. So this one's for you. Enjoy. And as always, thanks for watching. Hi, John here with L.P.M. and today we're going to take a good long look at Amazon's Kindle Fire. As a follow-up to a recent unboxing and first impressions video on the Kindle Fire, I've spent some time with the device over the last several weeks, and I have to admit that I'm really taken by it. But not necessarily for what it is itself, and I'll get to that in just a few moments, but certainly for what it represents in the industry. And I think any real comprehensive perspective on the Kindle Fire has to take into account Amazon's intentions with the device and their approach to the industry. Bear with me, this is going to take a few minutes, so let's get started. The Kindle Fire is Amazon's inaugural entry into the tablet computing market, presuming of course that we don't qualify earlier Kindle models as actual tablet computers, which I don't, and neither do you, right? The Kindle Fire is, in its basic essence, a 7-inch multi-touch Wi-Fi capable Android tablet. The Fire provides the user with a simple and speedy interface through which they can purchase, store, and access ebooks, digital magazines, streaming movies, music, and a wide range of popular apps for games and social media, whatever, as well as some of the other standard tablet-based activities such as browsing the web or managing email. Amazon sells the Kindle Fire for $199, ranking it, in my opinion, among the best values for tablet devices today. The Kindle Fire features a 7-inch multi-touch display with a 1024 by 600 resolution, a 1 GHz dual-core processor, 512 megabytes of RAM, and 8 gigabytes of internal storage, between 5 and 6 gigabytes of which can be used for content. It runs on a customized Android 2.3 Gingerbread OS with a proprietary Amazon-centric overlay that includes Amazon's App Store, the Amazon Silk cloud-accelerated web browser, a built-in email application compatible with the most popular email services, integrated cloud storage for Amazon Media content, a wide range of compatibility for audio and video content, and a free trial period subscription to the Amazon Prime service, which includes free streaming of select movies and TV shows, the Kindle owner's lending library, and free 2-day shipping for Amazon products. Now, the internet's been getting its nerd rage all up in a bunch, saying things like, the Kindle Fire, what a weak tablet, doesn't even begin to compare to my Samsung Galaxy Tab or my Toshiba Thrive. Whatever. Now, that's not to say that they're not right, because there are some really nice tablets on the market these days, but the Fire wasn't really intended to compete with other tablets. Not exactly, at least in terms of specifications. Although, to be honest, when it comes to the Apple iPad 2, Amazon may not have gotten that memo. If you go online to Amazon.com and type iPad in the Amazon search bar, the very first entry you get in the search results is a feature comparison list between the Kindle Fire and the Apple iPad 2. But really, compared to pretty much any premium tablet currently on the market, the Kindle Fire is limited in RAM, limited in storage, limited in processing capacity, lacks a microphone, lacks a camera, and imposes a walled garden feature-limited proprietary OS overlay on top of an already outdated version of Android OS. So, sure, your more fully featured tablet can do more things, and do them faster, and allow you significantly greater control and customization over your tablet computing experience. But in terms of fulfilling its intended purposes, the Kindle Fire is unquestionably a home run for Amazon, and nearly perfect for its target market. And here's why. Amazon has ingeniously leveraged their presence in the online consumer environment to produce the Kindle Fire and sell it below cost to an ever-growing loyal base with the likely intention of making money practically hand over fist, importing more and more content through it. all in context of the following simple facts. The average consumer is relatively technophobic and will invest minimal effort to a clearly defined content acquisition end. The average tablet consumer is predominantly interested in content consumption, access to simple yet high-profile gaming or social media experience, and often a simple, clearly defined online shopping experience. In other words, they want to update their Facebook status, play Angry Birds, and buy stuff. The average tablet consumer is not interested in tweaking or customizing their device or rooting the operating system, rarely if ever utilizes advanced or premium features of such a device, and may not even factor the device as central to their day-to-day activities. The average consumer frequently gauges the desirability of such a device based upon a lower cost of entry, and is willing to pay only so much for it. As a result, low cost often trumps quality, features, and user experience in the eyes of a potential buyer. This gives Amazon the edge in being one of the only vendors in the field that can afford to sell the device at a loss due to their ability to consistently monetize its ongoing usage in perpetuity. While this may result in the unfortunately skewed perception of what a tablet should cost in the eyes of the consuming public, it's obvious that Amazon has set the stage with a product and marketing strategy that's proving nearly impossible for most of the competition to beat, simply because the competition can't afford to design and develop and manufacture and market their tablets at a sustained loss to their bottom line, while Amazon has designed their device in large part to function as a convenient portal to their nearly limitless online store, through which they intend to recoup the upfront losses for each Kindle Fire they sell. And so this makes the $199 price tag probably the biggest selling point for most consumers looking to buy a tablet. In the minds of the target user and the features they're looking for, they may be thinking, why would I spend $300, $400, or even $500 more for exactly the same thing? Well, when you compare the Kindle Fire against a more fully featured tablet like the Samsung Galaxy Tab, or the Toshiba Thrive, or even the Motorola Zoom series, and of course the Apple iPad 2, it's not the same thing. Of course it's not the same thing. But if what the Fire offers is all the target consumer is looking for, it might as well be, and for a lot less money. So what do you get for that $199? The Kindle Fire is comfortable and easy to hold and use, even in one hand. It feels like it's got a nice, sturdy, solid build, weighing in at just a little under a pound at 14.6 ounces, and a form factor that's roughly equivalent to a moderately thin paperback novel. It has a very mildly rubberized backside that wraps around the back edges and rounded corners, making it smooth all the way around the device, aside from the two stereo speakers on the top edge and the headphone port, micro USB port, and the awkwardly placed power button on the bottom edge. Missing are the typical volume rockers one would normally expect to find on the outside edge of a tablet, requiring the user instead to manage volume levels via the on-screen device preferences, which I'll get to in a moment. Pressing the power button turns on or awakens the device, and a simple swipe across the screen from right to left gets you into the operating system, from which point most of what we find is fairly uniform and intuitive. As a tablet device, it departs from traditional Kindle e-readers in that this is not an e-ink display. Like a number of premium tablets, the Fire features an IPS or in-plane switching display, which means that the screen can be comfortably viewed from a wide range of angles. The screen does have a highly reflective surface and as such may not be as comfortably viewed in direct sunlight or especially brightly lit environments. That being said, the screen looks great. It's bright and has a really good sharpness and contrast. The colors are vibrant, and the text is easy to read. The touchscreen interactivity is moderately responsive. I've had no trouble at all having my taps and swipes register with the interface. Navigation through the content and menus is pretty fast and relatively seamless, although, admittedly, response and fluidity of motion may not be as snappy or smooth as I've seen on other, more expensive tablets. But I find it to be perfectly adequate and have no problems with it at all. The device can be operated in either portrait or landscape mode, and the screen elements will automatically switch orientation accordingly. The home screen displays the interface, designed as sort of a bookshelf environment, and predominantly features quick access icons to your most recently accessed content. At the top left corner of the screen is the unit's ownership identifier. By default, when you purchase the Kindle Fire using your Amazon account, The unit is pre-registered to the name on that account and displays its ownership status accordingly. That information is pretty easy to change, but I'll address those options in an upcoming segment of this video series. Next to the device name is the Notifications badge, which will display as a number icon if there are any notifications to view. Just tap on the little number badge to see your notifications, which may pertain to your Amazon account or any number of notification-enabled apps. The top center of the screen displays the current time, and in the top right corner we have the device settings, Wi-Fi signal strength indicator, and the battery status display. Tap the settings gear icon to access device controls. You can lock or unlock automatic display orientation, change the audio volume level, adjust the display brightness, set up your Wi-Fi connectivity settings, and sync the Fire to your Amazon account online cloud storage. Tap the More plus sign to access even deeper or more complex system settings. At the bottom of the screen, you can tap the arrow to return to the previous page, or tap the Home icon to return quickly to your home screen. You'll also find an integrated search bar. Tap it to activate the on-screen keyboard and then type your search keywords. You can designate whether the search is through the Amazon Kindle Content Library or as a standard web search through the onboard web browser. Finally, we have the categorical content libraries, essentially the substance of your Kindle Fire user experience. They're tabbed in order across the screen as Newsstand, Books, Music, Video, Docs, Apps, and lastly, the web browser. Each of the content sections lets you access corresponding content stored on your device, as well as the content stored on your Amazon Cloud Drive storage. Each of these content sections also features a Store tab that allows you to view, purchase, and download or subscribe to corresponding content according to whatever section you're currently browsing. The Newsstand section lets you browse, view, or subscribe to and read digital newspapers and magazines through Amazon. It goes similarly for books, music, and video accordingly. Additionally, the Music section lets you stream any of the music you have stored on your Amazon Cloud Drive. And if you have an active Amazon Prime account, the Video section lets you stream free movies and TV shows from a select library of Amazon's streaming video service. There's no question that videos look great on this device. The picture is nice and sharp, and the colors are crisp and bright. And although it's a smaller screen than what you'd find on fuller-size tablets, you really get used to viewing on this screen size pretty quickly. The Docs tab allows you to view documents stored on the device to which your personal documents can also be placed, either via email or syncing. This section also comes preloaded with a handy Kindle Fire user's guide. The Apps section accesses the apps you've downloaded to the device and lets you browse the Amazon App Store to purchase and download from thousands of the most popular apps, such as Facebook, Angry Birds, Netflix, Hulu+, Pandora, Words with Friends, Plants vs. Zombies, and the list goes on. Let's check out a few moments of gameplay in Fruit Ninja. It works really well and handles just about as well as some other Android tablets I've used. I've seen a few moments of stuttering motion when the processor is under a heavier load, but it's generally been negligible and hasn't really bothered me at all. And then lastly, we have the built-in web browser known as Amazon Silk, which touts itself as a cloud-accelerated browser, using a split browser architecture to give the user a faster and more powerful browsing experience. What this means in a nutshell is that the Kindle Fire web browser shares browser processing with online Amazon Web Services, taking some of the strain off the built-in processor and uses the cloud to help crunch the data and seamlessly port the browsing results back to the device. That's just genius. I'm pretty impressed with this browsing process. Amazon Silk is snappy and works quite well, especially for a tablet browser. And that pretty much rounds out the features of the Kindle Fire tablet. As far as rounding out the usability experience of the device, I'd add that the battery life is pretty decent, at just about average for premium Android tablets, boasting up to 8 hours of continuous reading or up to 7.5 hours of video so long as other battery-draining functions are disabled. And one slightly annoying criticism that I would add is that the audio output of the Fire is pretty weak. Even after going into the device settings and adjusting the volume, I still found that a lot of the music and movie audio to be a bit thin and tinny. Pretty difficult to comfortably hear, preferring instead to use a set of earbuds, not included, or plug into an external speaker system. In wrapping up, I'd like to share a few additional points that I think are important to know. Earlier, I noted that when you purchase the Kindle Fire, the unit is automatically registered to and identifies its ownership under the name of the Amazon account holder. If you're buying the Fire as a gift and don't want it registered to your own account, you can designate it as a gift during the purchase process, and the device will be delivered unregistered. That way, a gift recipient can register it to their own account during the device setup. Or, if you want to keep it registered to your own account, as is the default, but wish to change its identifying name, such as in my case, in which I wanted to keep the Fire registered to my own account, but identified by the name of someone else in my household, you can do that very simply by going online to Amazon.com, logging into your account and select Manage Your Kindle from the shortcut links, and then select Manage Your Devices. From there, you can easily change the Kindle name. While logged on here to your Amazon account, you'll also find that you can manage things like subscription settings and some of the Kindle library content for your device. Now, if it hasn't already been obvious, to get the most out of the Kindle Fire, you want to have an Amazon account with your purchase payment protocols in place and active. I know it seems that should go without saying, since if you purchase the Kindle Fire for yourself, chances are pretty good that you purchased it through Amazon and have it registered to your own account. But if you gave the Kindle Fire as a gift, well, that's something that the recipient probably should know. And if you received one as a gift, or otherwise purchased it as a non-Amazon retailer, well, make sure you have that Amazon account up and running. And now you do know. The Kindle Fire is intended as a portal device for quick and convenient purchase and download of ebooks, apps, and media content. When the device is set up to work in conjunction with your Amazon account and the corresponding payment protocols you set in place, purchases you make through the device will be charged accordingly. Additionally, registering the device automatically initiates a free 30-day subscription to the Amazon Prime service, which includes a few benefits to the Kindle Fire user, which I noted in an earlier segment. Once that 30-day period nears its end, you'll be notified about the expiration of the free trial and invited to consider paying to retain continued Amazon Prime benefits, at the cost of $79 per year. You'll have to decide for yourself if the service is worth it, but I think it's important to clear up some of the misinformed chatter I've seen in web forums. You absolutely do not need to have the Amazon Prime service in order to use and enjoy the Kindle Fire. You'll still be able to browse, purchase, and download ebooks, digital magazines, movies, and apps from Amazon just the same. But you're not necessarily limited to loading content onto the device just from Amazon itself. You can also sync the Kindle Fire to your computer via a micro USB cable, not included, to transfer ebooks and documents, music and video. The Kindle Fire will show up on your Mac or Windows PC as an external USB drive, which you can then open up to locate the appropriate content folders into which you can drag and drop transferred content, such as books and documents, music, pictures, and video. I should note here that just like pictures, the video that you transfer to the Fire will need to be viewed through the Gallery app, not the standard video viewer, which is reserved only for Amazon-sourced video content. And if you're going to be transferring your own or third-party multimedia content onto the Fire, you might want to go online to Amazon.com/Kindle Fire to review a listing of content formats that are supported on the device. There's also been a lot of discussion about potential uses for the Kindle Fire, and questions about whether or not it can be used for things like Skype video chat. Well, considering the device lacks both a microphone and a camera, that just doesn't seem to be very likely. Users have suggested connecting a USB webcam via the Fire's micro USB port, but the underpinnings of the operating system includes an older version of Android that does not feature USB host support. So for now, that micro USB port is limited only to charging and syncing functions. Whether or not Amazon will address this limitation with system and USB driver updates in the future is anyone's guess. But for what you're already getting in the Kindle Fire, and at the relatively low price for which you're getting it, I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for Amazon to grace it with much more feature expansion, beyond the obvious faster processors, more RAM, longer battery life, thinner body, and screen enhancements that are pretty likely in follow-up models. Want to know more about the Kindle Fire or have questions about the device? tap the Help and Feedback tab under the Kindle Fire settings menu, or go online to amazon.com/KindleFire and click the link for Kindle support near the top of the page. And you can also click the discussion link to view or engage in online discussions about the Kindle Fire with other users. Want to keep up with more video tips and reviews? Be sure to subscribe to my channel right here on YouTube, or follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/dvwatt. I'm John with L.P.M, and thanks for watching.